So after MSP, now let's look at another concept which is called the peers. So a blockchain network is comprised primarily of a set of peer nodes. Okay, or simply what we can call them as peers. Peers are fundamental elements of the network because they host ledgers and smart contracts. So here we can see there's a network N which has peer nodes P1 and P2. They have a copy of the ledger L1. So there's another node P3 also. There are three nodes P3. They're all hosting the same copy of the ledger L1, and a smart contract S1 is also common to them. So the network N consists of peers P1, P2 and P3, each of which maintain their own instance of the distributed ledger L1. So the ledger L1 will always be same at all the peer nodes. P1, P2 and P3 use the same chain code S1 to access their copies of that distributed ledger. Peers can be created, started, stopped, reconfigured and even deleted. As the time goes by, they can be any addition also or deletion also. They can be start also or stopped also. So they expose a set of APIs that enable administrators and applications to interact with the services that they provide. So external to the network are the applications, and they expose a set of APIs that enable administrators and applications to interact. So this copy of ledger L1 is same for all the peers because they are all on the same channel. Now let's look at what is a ledger. So a ledger consists of two distinct though related parts, a world state and a blockchain, or a transaction log also, which is called as. So each of these represents a set of facts about a set of business objects. So let's look what is the world state. So a database that holds current values of a set of the ledger states. So the world state makes it easy for a program to directly access the current value of a state rather than having to calculate it by traversing the entire transaction log. So the ledger states are by default exposed as key value pairs. So the world state can change frequently as states can be created, updated and deleted. So what is world state? World state is the current value of a set of ledger states. So whatever is the current value, that is the world state for that moment. And the transaction log, which is the blockchain, is that records all the changes that are resulted in the current world state. So as we keep on adding the transactions, the transaction log keeps on changing the world state. So the transactions are collected inside blocks that are appended to the blockchain, enabling us to understand the history of changes that are resulted in the current world state. So we had a world state, we have a transaction, the transaction log. So the transaction log changes the world state into the current world state. So whatever the history of changes that have resulted in reaching that world state is available in the transaction log. So the blockchain data structure is very different to the world state because once written, it cannot be modified. So it is immutable. So the blockchain entries are immutable. So whatever is recorded inside the transaction log, it cannot be edited any further. Okay, thank you.